Aloha, Hoʻihoʻi Ea, ya kākou.
Happy Restoration Day across the Pai'aina of Hawaii and abroad.
O ka lā kanakolu kumakahi kēia o Iulai I ka makahiki e lua kaukani I wakalua kumakahi. Today is July 31st, 2021, and today marks the 178th anniversary of the restoration of the Hawaiian kingdom and sovereignty during a short-lived British occupation in the Paulette Affair in 1843. E kolu ole, e kolu kaloa, kane.
O ole pau ka pomahina, I ka malama o Mahoe mua, I ke ana hulu ho'emi. Tonight's moon phase is ole pau. It is the last ole moon of the Hawaiian lunar month known as Mahoe mua, in the waning lunar week of the Hawaiian lunar calendar.
Ole moons are typically not good for farming. This is a good time to prep your soil, sharpen your tools, or maybe even organize your garden shed.
Ole moons are also unproductive for fishing, specifically the waning ole moons. Wahi a kupuna, when the crescent is facing down, that means that the calabash is closed. Hence the fact that the waning ole moons are not productive for fishing.
What we're fighting for. So the watchers kill each other as we pile up on the floor. So what's the future to the youths of today? Cause I said I'm looking for the...
Okay, Kako, so here are a few key people that you need to know. Kauikeauli, who we introduced in our last episode, but if you missed it, he is Kamehameha Ekolu and reigned from 1825 until 1854. Garrett Judd, American advisor and cabinet minister to Kauikeauli. British naval captain George Paulette. Remember how we mentioned the Paulette Affair? Yep, it's because of this guy. Rear Admiral Richard Thomas. He is the reason Thomas Square is named Thomas Square. Richard Charlton, British consul to the Kingdom of Hawaii since 1825.
I just love this mo'olelo. It's such a significant part in our history and so inspiring to see how our mo'i and his minister handled situations like this. So let us start in the beginning, in late 1842, when British consul Richard Charlton accuses the Hawaiian Kingdom of mistreating British subjects in regards to land disputes that he himself was involved in. Richard Charlton then informs British naval captain Lord George Paulette of what happened. Paulette sails to Hawaii on February 11th and requests to meet with the king, but Kauikeauli is off island and is not able to meet. On February 16th, he requests to meet with the king again, but this time he is not so polite and he demands to meet with the king. Kauikeauli responds saying American Jared Judd, chief government minister, is trusted to handle communications. Paulette gets upset and even accuses Jared of fabricating this response. This obviously upsets Paulette, who then asserts himself and 3 others as the new government of Hawaii. On February 25th, he orders all Hawaiian flags found in the kingdom to be lowered and burned, and raises the British Union Jack to signify British rule.
Garrett Judd plans a secret mission for businessman James Marshall to inform Richard Thomas and the Queen of England of what has happened in Hawaii. James Marshall stops in Boston to spread the news of Hawaii to the American press, knowing that if he spread the news through the American press, it would spread rather quickly. Meanwhile, Timothy Ha'alilio is in Paris, France, negotiating treaties on Hawaii's behalf, and he had already received verbal assurance of Hawaii's independence. On July 26, Richard Thomas sails to Hawaii to speak with Kauikeauli and rectify the matter. On July 31st, 1843, Richard Thomas informs Kauikeauli that the British occupation is over. The site of the ceremony where the British Union Jack was lowered and the Hawaiian flag was raised was made into a park and called Thomas Square in his honor.
close your eyes, EKMO, listen for a second. Would you realize that taste in your mouth every time that you take a breath in? Well, it's hard when your brainwashed, your senses got you guessing. If you listen to me truly speak, you'd realize what I'm stressing. I said, well, it's not the same, it's not as simple as before. It's not our bodies, but our brains. They're using for their war, confused and in pain. We don't know what we're fighting for. So they watch us kill each other as we pile up on the floor. This is just lazy. This is more than a generation. This is history. But don't take that criticization. Let your roots run deep while adapting to the ways of the ancients. Call me crazy, but I think this is more than a vacation. This Hoʻihoʻi has the means to replace the nation that's filling us with greed. 1,000 years since we came here, but in this past century we've been fighting to be free. But today we're fighting just to be here. Well, it's not the same. It's not as simple as before. It's not our bodies, but our brains. They're using for their war, confused and in pain. We don't know what we're fighting for. So they watch us kill each other as we pile up on the floor.
Why does the Hawaiian arrest the Hawaiian, having me question who I am and where I stand? Soon we'll realize that it's by design, and I will not take my hands out of my lands.
So get up, get out of the box. They're trying to stop us from talking about all the crops on the mountain tops and the fishes in the sea. Hey, get up, get out of the box. They're trying to stop us from talking about all the crops on the mountain tops and the fishes in the sea. Hey, not 300 years since they're done busting Tea Party. Now they're coming over here with the sicknesses. They're coming over here.
And in closing, we take a closer look at the word Ea. Ea has many different meanings. It can mean air, breath, life, to rule, sovereignty, and independence. And all of these meanings are appropriate. But for La Hoʻihoʻi Ea, it refers to the word sovereignty.
So let us all remember that on July 31st, 1843, under the rule of Kamehameha Ekolu Kauikeauli, the sovereignty of Hawaii was restored. So Kako, we hope this mo'olelo brought you just as much hope and inspiration as it did for us. E hoʻihoʻi kea ya Hawaii. A mau kea o ka aina I kopono.
It's not as simple as before. It's not our bodies, but our brains that they're using for their war. Confused and in pain, we don't know what we're fighting for. So they watch us kill each other as we pile up on the floor. Not our bodies, but our brains.